Hello friends, welcome back to Anna Nail School. So in today's video I'm going to show you how to transform a bitten short nail. So you have seen my previous video where I showed you how we were able to kind of grow this bitten short nails, but since the client had some medical issues, she came after like 2-3 months, and again whatever we did during our appointments, it all went back to like the day one situation. Okay, so this is how the nails looks like. I'm going to show you how I can transform this into a beautiful looking nail extensions. Before I start, please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so first thing, as we all know, we have to do our dry manicure. So as part of it, I'm going to push back the cuticle. So now that you have seen how the nails are, you know, the cuticle skin and the cuticle is like really stuck with the nail plate, and literally on her right hand she bites more on the right hand. So the nail plate is literally tiny and the skin was literally stuck to her nail plates. So in such situations, when you are pushing back, you have to be very careful. As you can see, I'm using a orange wood stick and I'm starting from one corner and then opening up towards the other corner. Okay, so I did it like 2-3 times here so that the cuticle pocket is nicely opened. Okay, so in such situations, one thing you have to be very careful is the amount of pressure you are putting, because it's really stuck. So we tend to apply more pressure, which might end up hurting the client. So just be careful. Start opening it from one side and then just move on to the next side, gentle by gentle or little by little. Okay, so after pushing back the cuticle, then we can start with our dry manicure. So if you wish to see this video in Hindi language, please check out my Hindi channel. It's a little different in the video, the content, but more or less it's the same. Okay, so now I have switched to my electric file. So here I'm using a diamond bit, and I'm using a red abrasive diamond bit, and the machine is running at 18,000 rpm. For dry manicure, a 16 to 18,000 rpm speed is enough, and the machine is on a reverse mode, as I said. And since we have a lot of cuticle on the nail plate, I am taking my time to kind of do the dry manicure. So whenever we work with a challenging client like this, so we will kind of adjust the price also, because the service time is going to be longer than the normal regular nails. This one takes more time in doing dry manicure, as well as doing the foams and the application. Everything takes more time and extra care, and obviously skills. So you must customize your pricing as per your whatever time or skills that you think you have. Accordingly, you need to change your pricing a bit. Okay, I mean, you will be charging more for this kind of clients. Okay, so here, as you can see, we have kind of removed all the dead skin. I took my time to kind of work through the nails, and this is how it looks like after completing the first round of electric filing. And once I was done with the electric filing, I directly started trimming the cuticle. As you can see here, I haven't buffed the nail plate yet. In such nails, we have to do like dry manicure 2 times. I mean, I'll be using the e-file 2 times. Now that I have removed the 90% of the dead skin from the nail plate, and after trimming it, I'll be doing it one more time. This is something that I do whenever I have to work on a nail like this, because that way we get a very clean cuticle area. So for number one thing, durability is a challenge for this type of nails. So if you want these nails to last a minimum of 3 to 4 weeks, we have to do a thorough dry manicure. Okay, so here I'm trimming again. Be very careful. Just make sure you have a very sharp cuticle nipper or a cuticle scissor when you're doing the trimming of the cuticle. And cuticle trimming is something that is, I don't do it for all my clients, but a client like this, as you can see here, she has a lot of hangnails and dry dead skins around the epinecum area. So there is no way I'm going to leave it as it is, because if I leave it as it is, tomorrow again the nails will look like she did nothing on that nail. Okay, so that is something we have to decide based on the kind of nails that we are going to work on. Okay, so again, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section. I will try to answer as much as I can. Okay, so I wanted to show you how nails change if you don't continuously do extensions when you have this kind of nails. Okay, so after trimming all the nails, all the cuticle skin and all, I use my electrifier again just to make sure that the nails and the hang nails around the nails are all like neatly cleaned. This doesn't mean you are going to overfile. Okay, you have to be very careful on that, because we don't want to overfile the nails. Already we have very limited canvas here, so we don't want to overfile and damage the nail. So when you are doing it the second time, you have to be very careful. Now I have a very I have lower speed, which is around 12,000 rpm when I did the second part. Okay, after this the next step is to clean the nail plate. I'm using lint free and alcohol to kind of clean up the nail bed. Just make sure we don't have any dust or oil, moisture or anything on the nail bed. If you have, then that is your reason for like lifting and all, or falling off the nails. Okay, so just make sure the nail beds are absolutely clean. And after cleaning, this is how the nails looks like. It's pretty decent now, and it's time for us to start with the extension process. Next step is to apply dehydrator. Dehydrator basically removes any leftover oil, moisture from the nail bed, and it's then ready for the product application. And the next product we need to use is a primer. This is a acid free primer. Both the products are from Model Ones, acid free. Just apply a little thin layer, and now it's time for the application. So today I'm going to show you a separate situation. So as you can see here, the client has a puffy skin on the thumb. Okay, which so in such nails it's very difficult for us to apply tips or foams both, because that skin will come in between, so we can't do it like we do it for a normal client. So here I have two options to go. One option I have already posted on my channel as a reel, or on Instagram also you can find that, but here I am doing a different method. So I picked up a bead. I made sure my bead is like almost dried. As you can see, I released it, but it is not falling or running anywhere. Okay, it's a dry, medium dry nail bead, and I placed it on the nails, and I'm using my brush to kind of create a free edge for this particular nail. I'm pulling her skin using my thumb a little down, so the client was kind of sleeping here, so it was a little challenging, because obviously she was sleeping, so she was not cooperating, as in obviously she was asleep, so I had to kind of hold it together. And as you can see, I have kind of created a free edge. So since the acrylic is not like runny, you can basically control it. So this is what we call it as sculpting on the air. Okay, that's what my teacher told me. Okay, so this way we create a free edge, we let the acrylic completely dry, and as you can see, I'm using my brush to kind of clean the underneath side of it, so that it's just making sure it's not touching the skin too much. Okay, so we let it kind of stuck in the air, and we let it dry, and after that we can either use a tip or a foam to do the extension of the nails. Okay, so the same thing we can do with a polygel also, but you have to make sure the polygel is a high viscosity one. Now that the acrylic is completely dried, I tried to use the foam on this as it is without filing it, but after applying the foam, I realized the thickness of the free edge, the edge that we created, was a little more, so that was not giving me the way I wanted the tips to be. So even after applying this foam, I realized that this is not going to work, so I removed it, and then we did a little bit of filing, and I made sure the edges are thin as our natural nails. Okay, so I'm using a hand file 180 grit, and I'm just going to file and thin it down and kind of blend it before I put the foam on. I'm sorry, here the video is a little off screen, but yeah, now you can see. So I use my file to kind of file down the thickness. Also I made sure the free edge is kind of shaped also, so that when the foam goes in, it gives a proper natural nail like feeling. Okay, so now you can see it looks like a natural nail, and that puffy skin is no longer visible. Okay, so this is the technique we need to show, and I have done it like after a very long time. so I was like a little overconfident I can get away with it without filing. So I'm just checking the bottom side how the skin is, and it's not touching and there is no skin contact here. So now the next step is to attach the foam. Okay, so my foam is here. I'm measuring the corners or the growth points of the nail, and then I'm going to use my scissor to make a small cut on both the sides, and then I'm going to attach the foam to her nails. And when you are applying the foam, just make sure the foam is straight, and since we filed the free edge that we created with acrylic, and now it's more or less thin as the natural nails, it's easy for us to apply the foam. And just make sure the foam is straight, and then close it and tight it. Just you can also ask the client if they feel it tighter on the growth point, and just make sure the foam is straight so that we don't mess it up later. And now it's time for us to apply the product. So the product I am using is from a brand called Glamorous Nail Products. The acrylic and the monomer both are from the same brand. And now let's start the product application. So here there is nothing different than what we do on the regular nails. Take your bead, place it at the free edge, and then just move this side to side and create your length and shape connecting to the natural nails, and then stretch it and create your length and thickness, and then build the nails. Okay, so as you can see, I'm very careful. So the brush I'm using is from Timo. It's a number 10 Kolinsky brush, and I have not sped up the process here so that you can see it clearly how I'm making sure that the product is nice and connected with the corners of the natural nails, and then I'm stretching the excess product towards the free edge area. So now one question people often ask is how much thickness I should keep. So the basic thickness that we keep is more or less similar to a credit card thickness. You can keep it a little less than the credit card thickness, but not more than that. Okay, so in case on the first bead, if you are not able to build up the thickness that you wanted while stretching the length, you can always first finish the stretching and make sure the length is enough, and then the second bead you can place at the same place where you left the first bead, and then you can build up that thickness. So don't worry about the thickness when you are doing it the first time. And especially for beginners, when you start with, you will not have like a better idea on how much product you should take. So just keep practicing and you will reach, or you will know like when to take how much product. Okay, so now this is the second bead, and I placed it and pushed a little towards the cuticle, and the rest I have stretched over to the first bead that we have already blended. And sometimes I do a 3 bead application, sometimes I do a 2 bead application depending on the length. So here I actually got a little confused, or I just got lost a little. So basically I was going for a 3 bead application, I guess, and then after releasing the bead I was like, okay, let's just manage it with the 2 bead. So that's why we have a little gap on the corner. So that's again is totally fine. You can always go back and apply more if wanted. So I just picked up a tiny bead and then added and covered whatever gap was left there from the second bead application. Okay, just be very careful, and I always recommend take your time to do the application so that you don't have to file a lot after removing the foam. So if your application is really good, then you don't have to file too much. So here we have more or less finished our application technique. I was just checking all the corners. If I see any area is thin or need extra product or a little bit of fixing, then I take little beads and then I fix it. So as you can see on the screen, so this is how I did extension on this puffy Bitten nail. Okay, now we have nails on all other nails that was already done. In this video I wanted to show you specifically on the puffy nails, and once this is done we can take off the forms and then do the filing and shaping. I have not included the filing and shaping in this video. In case if you wish to learn about filing and shaping, do let me know in the comment section. So the nails are already looking really pretty, and I am using alcohol and lint free wipes to clean up the nail bed. Now you can see how we started and how this is looking, right? So it came out really cute. In fact, this color itself was looking so good on her, but we did use a kind of a glittery shimmery base and then added a little bow. I again skipped the gel polish application, but I think this video helps you. In case if you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section. I'll see you soon on my next video, and appreciate if you subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.